Monterey Car Week has numerous events, and a popular one is Porsche Club of America's Werks Reunion. The Werks hosts many Porsche personalities, like Hurley Haywood, a master of the 24-hour endurance race.
One of the greatest drivers in sports cars there is, and probably still can go out there and turn some amazing laps, Hurley Haywood. Recognizable from anywhere at any Porsche event. And Hurley came out with a book, which has, are you in the second printing or still in the first printing?
No, we're still in the first printing, but it's really doing well. Everybody loves to read. One of the caveats that I set down with Sean Crivlin was that I wanted a book that not only talked about the racing, but also just was a good story, so you could be a non-racing fan and still enjoy reading the book. And the book is such a beautiful book. I'm so proud of it. It's got 650 photos in it, 400 pages, weighs 7 pounds, and we're selling it here on the back side of the vendor row over there. So anybody that wants the book, I'll be here till 11 o'clock signing.
Once considered outsiders, but now achieving legitimacy, are the Porsche Outlaws. It was driving Porsche purists crazy with their hot rodding and customizing of Porsches. And one of the originals is Rod Emory, who customized his own 356 and recently completed a meticulous restoration of Porsche's first Le Mans winning car of 1951. We pick up his interview with the past president of the Porsche Club. Emory is as detailed in his stories as he is in his cars.
I'll just give you a quick little kind of history on these cars and then what we ended up doing to rebuild it. But when Porsche built their 4 cars to compete at Le Mans, they started with some leftover Gmünd aluminum-bodied cars, which were production-based cars. They had built 50 of these cars in Gmünd, Austria, before they moved their operation back to Germany. And the reason they chose the aluminum cars was because the lightweight nature and the aerodynamics of the cars. And when they made the decision to race in 1951, they decided in Porsche fashion to modify the cars and build in certain redundancies and also do some testing and some aerodynamic testing. And so if you look at the 4 cars that were initially produced, the roof lines were a little bit different and the fender skirts were different, and there were some changes. And when they showed up at Le Mans with the 2 cars, it's not a very high horsepower car. It's got 45 horsepower. And they began the race with 2 French drivers, and the car just performed flawlessly. They won the race because of endurance, speed, and also just preparation. There's a few things in this car just in case things wouldn't have gone their way. You can see there's an extra windshield wiper that's up here that's operated. There's also an extra fuel system, so the car has its mechanical fuel pump on the engine and a switch, just like all other 356s.
The wiper, was that hand operated or?
No, it's actually an electric operated one, but it was there, and the extra wiper blade is actually in the wooden toolbox in the back. So they didn't have to use it during the event. They were able to get through with the regular wipers. But there was also an electric fuel pump system that just in case they would have needed more fuel on the straights, or if it would have gotten to a point where the mechanical pump gave out. But they just build in redundancies, also extra ignition systems and those things. And as we look at Porsche today, the winningest manufacturer at Le Mans, it's the same thing. They just carry that same tradition and passion. And so for me to have an opportunity to kind of bring this car back to life was a real honor, because it's this car it is really what has inspired everything that I've done my entire career, as well as a lot of the things that my dad and family have done to these cars.